The epic story of Ramayana, which Lavakusa sang and Rama, along with his brothers, heard with utmost interest, starts with describing the great city Ayodhya, which is the birthplace of Lord Rama. On the banks of the river Sarayu, there was this great country called Kosala. This prosperous country was bestowed with large green fields, rich with agricultural produce and wealth of all sorts. Its capital is the famous city Ayodhya. This great city was constructed as per the wish of Vaivasvata Manu. It was a huge city which was 96 miles long and 24 miles wide, constructed systematically with a beautiful plan. It is said that Apsaras visit this beautiful city in their flying vehicles every evening and shower flowers on it. The long and straight roads are kept cool and fragrant by big elephants spraying scented waters on them. Ayodhya's entrance was built with marble. The doors were made by gold and silver studded with valuable diamonds. Lanes and roads are all built with perfect planning. Lined up on both sides of the roads are beautiful multi-storied buildings. Many buildings and structures are built with perfect vastu and are studded with diamonds and precious stones. They are further decorated with decorative arcades and flags. Their beauty is only comparable with the buildings of Lord Vishnu's abode, Vaikunta. With so many multi-storied buildings, beautifully tended gardens, vibrating with the music generated from many music instruments playing, Ayodhya is comparable to the god's capital city Amaravati, ruled by the ruler of all gods, Indra. The city is filled with artists like singers, dancers, and actors performing about the glory of Lord Vishnu. We need to mention specifically about the landscaping of Ayodhya. The gardens in Ayodhya are filled with beautiful flowering plants and huge trees offering shade to anyone passing by. The gardens are filled with various birds like peacocks, cranes, parrots, etc., and the air is filled with their calls and chirping. The sugary sweet water in the lakes are filled with colorful lotuses and water flowers. This water is used both for drinking and agriculture. Even in high summers, the city is kept cool by the water sprinkling machines spraying water high. The soft breeze carries the fragrance from the cool water sprays far and wide and keep the people cool with its touch. This awe-inspiring city is well protected by archers who can use many types of astras, charioteers who can fight with hundreds of people at a time, and other thousands of warriors always alert round the clock. The walls surrounding and protecting the city are fitted with artillery and machines which can throw stones to turn away the enemies from far away. Ayodhya also sees a lot of travelers on daily basis. Many merchants visit Ayodhya to sell their wares in the sprawling markets. Many representatives from other surrounding countries regularly visit to pay their taxes or respects and ask for support or help in solving their problems. The learned Brahmins who have conquered their senses and are committed to only spiritual activities are seen performing yajnas for people's welfare regularly. The city resounds with the chanting of Vedas and singing in the praise of Lord Vishnu. People belonging to various varnas or castes are committed to their works and work towards everyone's welfare in general. There is peace and prosperity everywhere. Isn't this beautiful? Who would not want to stay in such a lovely city? After reading all this, I was so mesmerized, I would have given my everything to stay in Ayodhya. After I read about Ayodhya in Ramayana, I could not stop thinking and dreaming about this city for many days. Being inquisitive myself, I started reading about Ayodhya, checking and studying online information from various sites including Wikipedia. I was more intrigued after knowing about the history of Ayodhya and the place it occupied in modern history, the awe it inspired and the love it gained. I came to know many things about this great city Ayodhya, some of which I would like to share with you. The word Ayodhya means invincible or which cannot be fought. This meaning is attested by the Atharva Veda, which uses it to refer to the unconquerable city of gods. Satyopakhyana interprets the word slightly differently, stating that it means that which cannot be conquered by sins. You see, not by enemies, but by sins. Wow! Saketa is the older name of the city attested by Sanskrit, Jain, Buddhist, Greek, and Chinese sources. Adipurana states that Ayodhya is called Saketa because of its magnificent buildings which had significant banners as their arms. We have also seen in the Lavakusha description saying that the buildings in Ayodhya are decorated with decorative arcades and flags. A variation of it is seen as Saketu in Vishnu Purana, where Sa means with and Ketu means banner or flag. Ayodhya, being the capital of the Kosala kingdom, was also referred to as Kosala. The Adipurana states that Ayodhya was famous as Sukosala because of its prosperity and good skill. Do you know that there are two great cities named after Ayodhya? They are the cities of Ayutthaya, also spelled as Ayodhya in Thailand, and Yogyakarta, also called Yogyakarta in Indonesia. Please pardon me for any mispronunciations. I tried my best to retain the original pronunciation, but looks like I'm falling short. These two cities also are blessed with great historical prominence and present day relevance. Out of these, Ayutthaya was founded in 1351 by King Yuthong and proclaimed it the capital of his kingdom, often referred to as the Ayutthaya Kingdom or Siam. Around 1700 AD, this city flourished with an approximate population of 10 lakhs, and it became one of the world's largest cities of that time and was known as the Venice of the East. It got destroyed by the Burmese army in 1767, but the beautiful towers and monasteries are well preserved even today in the Ayutthaya Historical Park, which is recognized internationally as an UNESCO World Heritage Site. Modern day Ayutthaya is refounded a few kilometers to the east of the old city. Coming to the other Indonesian city, Yogyakarta or Yogyakarta, which reflects popular pronunciation as of today, is also named after Ayodhya. Yogya means suitable or fit. Karta means prosperous or flourishing, thus making it a city that is fit to prosper. Being the capital city of some dynasties, it is the only present-day Indonesian royal city still ruled by a monarchy. Today, Yogyakarta is regarded as an important center for classical Javanese fine arts and culture such as ballet, batik textiles, drama, literature, music, poetry, silversmithing, visual arts, and wayang puppetry. Being a center for Indonesian education, Yogyakarta is home to a large student population and dozens of schools and prestigious universities. It also functioned as capital of Indonesia for a few years. Looks like there is real magic in the name Ayodhya, which can impart greatness. Ayodhya is regarded as one of the 7 most important pilgrimage sites called Saptapuri for Hindus. With a long drawn history, Ayodhya has seen many ups and downs, from being a great city to a deserted forest land, which again became a great city. It has been capital to many dynasties, getting the patronage of some real great rulers. It has always been a spiritual, cultural, and business center. The legendary city Ayodhya has a mention in Buddhist and Jain ancient scripts too. The early Buddhist and Jain texts mention that the religious leaders Gautama Buddha and Mahavira visited and lived in the city. The Jain texts also describe it as the birthplace of its 5 Tirthankaras and associate it with the legendary Chakravartis. Thus, the great city of Ayodhya, built as per the wish of Vaivaswata Manu many millennia ago, has been an awe-inspiring city with a history spanning into modern day and remains prominent even now. I heartfully wish that this city continues to see greatness in all its time to come, and let Ayodhya's spirit remain unconquerable as its name indicates. In the next session, we'll talk about the great ruler of this Ayodhya, Dasaratha, who is the father of Lord Rama, and the story of Ramayana continues. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu.